2022, do you think it's kind of weird that we have to continue to talk about why Black history is important?
Well, I think Coretta Scott King said it best. Freedom is never really won. It's continually pursued in every generation. We will always have a need to talk about African-American or Black history based upon the history of America, because it is said, and I believe it's true, he who knows not his history is destined to repeat it. And that's not just with regard to African Americans or Black Americans. That is American history. Black history is, in fact, American history. And we need to know the stories and the tale and the journey of Black people in America to fully understand the history of our nation and how we move toward the perfection of our democracy, which is an ever flowing pursuit.
What do you think is the best way to teach kids in the younger generation about Black history or history in general and keep them engaged?
I think the way that you have to do that is make sure that we're making the making the lessons of history relevant to the times in which we are living. Black history is best utilized in analyzing the present and charting a course for the future. So when we look at Black history and when we teach Black history to our children, we must do so with the present and the future in mind. We don't look at Black history just to lament the past or even just to celebrate the past, but really to understand how we got to where we are. There's some things in American history and in Black history that have led us to the place of cultural challenge that we're in now, where we see so much in our entertainment, so much in our public culture that runs a direct contravention to the rich and powerful history of Black people in America. We are not and we have never been the B words and the whores and the N words that we see so pervasive in our culture. We're so much more than that. Our history is so much more than that. So as we teach Black history to our children, we must teach it with that in mind. How do we properly analyze how the vestiges of slavery, Jim Crow, the continuing challenges with social injustices and institutional inequities have perpetuated this misidentification of Black people in America that we see, again, so pervasive in so many of our reality shows and other places on television.
So as we move forward, what do you think are the best courses of action that we can take to prepare ourselves to know more about our history and to move forward in a positive direction?
I think we have to be continually reminded that we are Black history. We're making history every day, and not all history is good history. I am most concerned about the language, the culture, the content, the context. We seem to have digressed as an African-American people from celebrating the best of us to celebrating the worst of us. It's almost as if in a lot of ways we are looking at a culture that is again, in direct contravention to the history that we have. We've never been a people that measured ourselves on how low we could go, but how high we could climb. And no matter what the challenges, the obstacles have been, we've always believed that we had a God on our side and we had faith in one another. We've always been our brother and sisters keepers. And that's the way we've been able to overcome so much. We've never lost a fight that we fought, and we've never won a fight that we didn't fight. We have to continue to fight for the cultural renaissance, the cultural revitalization. We've got to fight for cultural justice, and oftentimes that means fighting against our own present culture.